gals, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Hillary, and if you are a returning subscriber, then you must be a crazy Hilly, and welcome back. If you guys like this content, feel free to give a like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It actually helps the channel out so much, and I thank you to everyone who does like, subscribe, and or leave a comment down below. Also, I have a Patreon and merch down below. If any of you guys feel like you want to support the channel, those are the best ways to do it. So if you want like a phone case or a t-shirt or just to go check out my Patreon, all of those links are down below. Also, I started an Etsy shop because while I've been inside, I've been so bored, I started to felt, which is like I make little felt sculptures now. So I left my Etsy thing down below. If you guys want to go check out some of my felt sculptures, you can do that too. Now, it's been a really long time since I've done a unsolved case, and I came across this one kind of randomly. I actually did not know about it until recently. I was just scrolling through Instagram and I had one of those pictures with like some info on it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I searched it up. So I was like, hey, let's tell everyone on YouTube about this unsolved mystery. So let's get right on into it. Tonight we are covering the strange case of the girl that went missing from Yosemite National Park, and her name is Stacey Ann Arras. Now, Yosemite National Park is this huge, huge park. And when I say park, it's got like mountains, it's got bears, it's giant. And there are people that go missing from it yearly. Like, lots of people go missing. I don't even think there is a number on how many people have gone missing in this park, but hers was a little bit strange, so we're gonna go straight on into it and cover what happened to Stacey. Stacey was only 14 years old when she went missing from Yosemite National Park in 1981. And to this day, her case remains unsolved. Yosemite National Park has also been known for a lot of creepy disappearances, but what makes hers so eerie is the lack of evidence that went with her disappearing. Due to the mysterious circumstances of her disappearance, a lot of people think some supernatural forces were at play. And although a lot of people think that, I'm sure there are some scientific reasons or an explanation as to why she disappeared. On July 17th, 1981, Stacey was traveling with her father and 6 other people in Yosemite National Park. The group of people were horseback riding, and they had actually just gotten to their camp when Stacey decided she wanted to go down to take some pictures of a nearby lake. She had asked her father if he wanted to come with her, and he declined. He said no, but because of where they were, it was a tourist spot, so there was a lot of people there to kind of see her. It wasn't expected that she was just going to all of a sudden go missing just like that. After Stacey left her companions, she walked down the trail, and the tour guide actually recalled seeing her standing on a rock about 50 yards south of the trail, which it's not that far. They can pretty much see it. It's only about 1.5 miles long. When Stacey went missing, she was actually on the walk with somebody else. She was on the walk with a 77-year-old man who could not make it all the way to the lake, so he kind of sat down and waited for her to go take her photos. And he waited for a little while, and when he couldn't find her, he decided to go look for her. So he went to go exactly where she was, and she wasn't there, and then that kind of raised alarm, and at this point, he walked back to the camp, and then people started to search for her. So it was basically immediate that people were looking for her because they were all in this one camp area. And she's 14 years old, you know, she's kind of old enough to me. Like, it's not like she's a 2-year-old who's just wandered off into the woods. She's 14. I'm pretty sure she knows where a path is if she's going to take some photos. The man reported that he had spoke to some hikers who had said that they hadn't seen her, but there was a man who was kind of seen sitting in the area, but he wasn't really cleared for doing anything bad. Like, nobody thinks that he was the guy that kind of just like abducted this random girl in the middle of the woods. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Despite the search for this girl happening literally minutes from when she went missing, the only item that was ever found from her was her lens cap, and it was found in a grove of trees that was right by where she was taking pictures. She had a bunch of other stuff with her, including her camera, her binoculars, possibly some stud earrings and an ankle bracelet, but none of those things have ever been recovered. Now, the search for the girl was super extensive. There was about 150 people that were looking for her, 67 of them being like mountaineer people that came from the park. They also had dogs that came in to go track her scent, but they said because of the conditions being so dusty and windy, they couldn't pick up any scent of her, despite finding her camera cover. That was the only thing that they found, which is really odd, although a lot of people say, well, a camera cover is kind of easy to lose, so that doesn't necessarily point to there being any foul play involved. She could have just dropped it on her way, ended up getting lost somehow, and usually when people get lost, they kind of just continue to walk, when what you really should be doing is not walking, because you're kind of counterproductive. People are looking for you, and you could be walking in the complete opposite direction, right? So some people that are really familiar with this area also say that there's a lot of discrepancies in the story, like where they were camping. There was a lake that's close to it, but it's not exactly how close they describe it. It's kind of a little bit of a hike away. So if this lake is farther away than it should have been, it would have been a lot easier for her to get lost. When originally it's kind of reported that it's not too far, it's just kind of down the ways. It seems to be, it's probably a little bit more of a hike than what was first said. And Stacey isn't the only person that has gone missing in this park, like I said earlier. And it's kind of odd to me that the park does not keep a record of the people that have gone missing inside of this massive area. For whatever reason, they don't keep a record, which I feel like maybe should be kind of a thing if people are going missing a lot, right? Like, why would you not do that? There are some people that also suspect foul play, and I've also heard that there's been kind of Bigfoot has been said in this because of the park and how big it is. Some people think that Bigfoot picked her up. I don't think that's the case. I think that she was probably just walking, and again, like, she was going farther than she thought she was, and she must have either fallen into some sort of crevice, like cave. Like, there's a lot of places. Like, if you check out this park, it is massive. Massive. And I don't think it's a place where, if you're not familiar with the area, you should just go wandering away. Especially if you don't have, like, a compass. Like, I know in 1981 there weren't phones, but, like, you at least have a compass. One of the people that assumes it was Bigfoot that was doing this is a man named David Politis. And if any of you guys have heard of the Missing 411 series, there's a few YouTubers on here that cover it. I think it's mostly Mr. Ballin. He's pretty sick. But he's a Bigfoot enthusiast, and he has gone there and he has logged hours, like probably 7,000 hours of time of him researching all of these disappearances. And I believe he's clocked about 1,600 disappearances in about 85,000 square miles of parkland, which, that's a lot. Which, am I completely opposed to there being Bigfoot? No, because I like the story about Bigfoot. I do think that possibly there is some sort of creature like that that exists, and in that much space, you know, who says that there couldn't be a Bigfoot or two that live in there? Do I think that that is necessarily what abducted her? No, but there are some people, obviously, that think that this is strange enough and kind of corresponds with other missing persons cases that have happened in that area. And that's kind of where the apple lands for them. Some people were also saying that, hey, maybe she decided to run away, which I think is also kind of dumb. Like, what? Why would you choose to run away when you're at some park with your dad and you're just like, hey, I'm going to run into the woods? But also, other than that, she was wearing uncomfortable shoes. She was wearing some flip-flops at the time that she was complaining about, and her dad was like, hey, maybe you should put on some hiking shoes. And her being, you know, a teenager was probably like, no, Dad, the hiking shoes? And then she just goes for a walk in her uncomfortable flip-flops. I don't know where this is, like, people are like, oh yeah, she definitely decided to run away in flip-flops and run straight into the wilderness with bears and other such mountain cats and things. Like, no. Which, when I say bears, there are about 300 to 500 black bears that are in this park. And could one of them have attacked her? Possibly. It's not a normal thing that they do. Usually they're kind of timid and they just kind of leave, but a bear could have attacked her. Like, I've seen a couple things that have happened where bears have just all of a sudden been like, and decide to attack a person, let alone if it was a mama bear and cubs. Like, you don't know, right? We don't know what happened. A bear could have eaten her. Another theory was drowning. Like, she was going to take pictures of this lake, right? Maybe she slipped in. She was wearing her flip-flops and maybe she slipped into the lake, but they did send divers down there. They couldn't find anything. They sent the dogs around. They couldn't smell anything. Even though I don't really find dogs to be that, like, when are dogs ever helpful? Like, there's been occasions where they've been helpful, but for the most part that I've seen, you know, oh, the conditions are too dusty, so the dog can't smell human. There's also little to no evidence that it could have been a human that attacked her. Like, maybe some person, just she came across the wrong person and they abducted her. There is no proof of that. There is no people that they have persons of interest that it could have been. So this is kind of why it remains unsolved. There's just no evidence. Now, she could very well still be in this park to this day. Just fell down a crack, you know, something unfortunate happened to her. Bigfoot took her. We don't know. But I'm afraid that this one is probably never going to be solved unless someone just happens to either stumble upon her. I really don't think she was abducted, but again, that's not being ruled out. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that she just went missing? Do you think that Bigfoot took her? Do you think she was abducted? Again, it's a really big park, so I hope one day that they do find her, but I'm not really holding my breath at this time. You know what I mean? So let me know down in the comments. What do you guys think about it? I would love to hear from you. Don't forget, I got merch Patreon if you guys want to go check it out. And if you want to go see the random little felt things that I make, I now have my thing in Etsy link thing down below. So if you want to go check that out, feel free. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.